So it's about that time to do my next film on my top 20, my own personal list. This is number 19. But it's got some bad news. I'm not supposed to be talking about this film because that'd be breaking the first rule. Well, second rule as well. Nah, I'm just kidding. Fight Club. Fight Club is directed by David Fincher, stars Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, Bellatrix Lestrange, if you know what I'm talking about, and this guy. His name is Robert Paulson. His name is Robert Paulson. Ultimately, Fight Club is about a simple man living a regular life who is pretty bored with his life. He's trying real hard to be like everyone else, own all the cool stuff, shops at IKEA for the best furniture and all that type of stuff, and he starts to develop insomnia. He can't sleep, and he's going through some struggle. And then eventually starts going to support groups, and when he's able to go there, he's able to let loose and he's able to cry, which ultimately becomes a cure or a medicine for his insomnia, and he's able to sleep. Going to these support groups, he eventually comes across Marla, a woman that is faking the symptoms of which go into the support groups, which also he does, but he says that he can't be along with another tourist because then he can't help him sleep because, you know, he can't have two fakers. So that's the very beginning of a weird friendship, and then he keeps on going. Eventually he goes on a business trip and he's on the airplane and he comes across this very interesting fella named Tyler Durden. The thing about Tyler Durden is he's cool, laid back, chill, doesn't really care what people think, and ultimately that's how all of us want to be. So Tyler Durden is in a sense the goal of a person, or the goal of a personality that we want to be, and I think that's what he represents in his symbolism in this movie. So ultimately Edward Norton comes across Tyler Durden and he's like, wow, this guy's pretty cool, and he likes him. And once his condo is blown up, he needs a place to stay, so him and Tyler shack up and they become buddies. And once they do that, they're meeting at the bar and Tyler asks him to a really weird question, and he's like, will you hit me? He's like, what? And ultimately they start hitting each other and fighting, and they come up with the idea of Fight Club. Fight Club is the symbolism of letting go, being yourself, not really caring, letting loose, being able to let out your aggressions and your emotions, and that was pretty much what brought together a bunch of, you know, regular guys just like Edward Norton and Tyler. And it's just like, all right, seeming like it's pretty fun. It's a great thing to watch. It's pretty fun, and it kind of makes you think inside. It's like, man, that's probably something I would want to do, letting loose every weekend. This film is full of tropes and full of metaphors, and honestly, this is a movie that you're going to want to see at least twice. Not because you don't get it or nothing, it's just because once you go all the way through, there's a lot of things that once you know how it ultimately wraps up, you're going to be like, dang, you know, it kind of seems pretty random that they just do that. But once you watch it again, it's like, wow, it was giving you hints and Easter eggs left and right, just planting them around, and it's honestly a work of art in my opinion. There are a lot of things in Fight Club that me personally, I honestly think a lot of people will not be okay with, but if you ultimately come to the conclusion that it is a trope and it is like, all right, you know, this is not what they're really going for and they're not really trying to do some bad stuff, then it's like, all right, that makes a lot of sense now. I think the relationship between Edward Norton and Brad Pitt in this movie work really well together. You got Edward Norton, the really bland guy, just stands there, pretty much does what he's told. He just lets Brad do all the talking. And then Brad, he's the cool guy, he's the chill, he's the swag holder, and he's just, all right, he's the leader, he's natural, he's very well spoken, he's very smart, he's very carefree, and the two of them work well together and they form a real good partnership. Tyler Durden is like the guy that we all want to be. He's the guy that, the confidence that we would wish we had, and we wish we would be able to speak our minds and just pretty much do whatever we wanted, and not necessarily in a sense of bad stuff or criminal activity, just in general, just doing whatever we wanted, carefree. And I think that's what Tyler Durden represents, because he's the carefree, he's cool looking, he's attractive, he's very chill, he's very soft-spoken with a nice deep voice, he's very manly, and I think that's just a good representation of what we all in a sense want to be. Fight Club is the type of movie that you're going to watch from beginning to end. It's not very long, a little over 2 hours, but it's not necessarily something you want to watch just because you don't get it, but also because it's entertaining. But it's a combination of stuff that you have to focus on. You have to be keeping your eye out for little, like I said, the little Easter eggs that they just throw out. And not because you won't get the movie if you don't pay attention to those things or you don't catch on right away. It's just something that you'll find more entertaining. I've seen this movie plenty of times, and there's still things every time I watch I was like, dang, I never noticed that. And you know, that's really interesting, because it's pretty much something that I'm hawking for it, and it's just like, wow, I never noticed that before. So when you finally see it, it's just like, all right, heck yeah, that's some good art. Obviously, there's a reason that this is number 19 on my personal list. It's a great film to watch. Like I said, it's not too long. It's not overly complicated, but it's something that you got to pay attention to get, and definitely are going to want to watch multiple times. But it's not because it's a science fact or it's a bunch of stuff that they're throwing at you. It's very entertaining, so it's a good watch. You're going to watch with, you know, various people. There are some things that said in the movie and talked about in the movie you might not want to be sitting next to your parents when you hear it, but ultimately it's a great time. I will definitely be giving this movie a 9.2. It's a great work of art. It's a little lower on my list because it doesn't necessarily relate to me personally than some of the other movies higher on my list, but ultimately it's a great film. It's a great watch. Like I said, it's something I've watched multiple times, and it's something that I think a lot of people love, if not everybody. So let me know, have you seen Fight Club? You know, it's a really old movie. Have you seen it? If you haven't, does it sound interesting? Is it something you'd want to watch? Comment, let me know what you think about the movie, or what you might think about the movie in the future. Let me know what you think. Subscribe to my channel and be ready for more. This is only number 19. We got 18 to go.